I was sitting across from my wife at a quiet little restaurant, finally alone together after weeks of diapers, midnight cries, and the never-ending chaos of new parenthood. The candles flickered, the clinking of silverware filled the air, and for a moment, it felt like we might remember who we were before everything changed. And then she did it. Yippee thanks ya ha ha ha. Oh wo yo ya ya. By the way, can you give us an extra plate for this? She said it. To the waiter. In full. Cartoonish baby talk. The waiter froze mid-step, eyebrows knitting together like he wasn't sure if he should smile or call for backup. I saw his eyes flick from her to me, uncertain, maybe even pitying. I felt the walls close in. I didn't say a word at first. I just stared at her. And then I snapped. I'm taking a break today, I said, voice flat. And I don't need another baby who can't even talk properly to look after. Please excuse me. I stood up. I left. No plan. No wallet passed to her. No explanation. Just walked out. Alone. That's how our date night ended. So, am I the asshole? Let me back up. We're both 27, new parents. It was a long, hard road to get here. Infertility, emotional roller coasters, silent nights filled with prayers that led nowhere. But then, a miracle. Unassisted, unexpected. She got pregnant. We were stunned. And for a few weeks, it was pure joy. But the joy didn't last the way I thought it would. She changed. Not in the way people always talk about. Not tired eyes, or messy buns, or forgetting to shower. No, this was something deeper, something stranger. She started speaking in nonsense. It began as a thing she did with the baby, little made-up syllables between lullabies. Bodhi bodhi choop, she'd say, bouncing our baby on her knee. Au fuatata. It was adorable at first, even charming. But then she started doing it in regular conversation. With me, with her mom, with friends, at the grocery store, even to strangers. I'd ask how her day was, and she'd answer like this. Pretty good, snuggle snoof. I had a little flump coffee and made Baba breakfast. I felt like I was going insane. At first I thought, maybe it's just postpartum weirdness. She's tired. It'll pass. I tried to laugh it off, tease her about it gently. I'd say, you know, you just told the pharmacist, thankies, sugar bubba, right? She'd giggle and shrug. Oh, it's just a phase. Lighten up. But it didn't stop. It got worse. There was a moment, and I'll never forget it, when we were at a friend's wedding. She bent over the cake table, beaming at the server, and asked, Can I have a bitey-weighty of the nom-nom cake-ums? People turned to stare. My friend raised an eyebrow. His new wife gave me a look that said, Is she okay? I was mortified. I pulled her aside, whispered, You've got to stop. People are looking at you like you're... She just laughed. They're just uptight. But I wasn't laughing. I was drowning. She'd always been quirky. The kind of woman who names her houseplants and talks to squirrels. But this wasn't quirky anymore. This felt off. Like she couldn't switch back. Like she didn't even see what she was doing. And then came the date night. It was supposed to be a break. My parents offered to babysit. We booked a restaurant, the kind we hadn't been to since before the baby. I thought maybe we could talk. Just talk. As adults. As partners. But when she ordered food in gibberish, oh wo yo ya ya, extra platey, plate, please, I felt my soul leave my body. And when the waiter blinked at her like she'd just spoken in tongues, I broke. I didn't yell. I didn't cause a scene. I just walked away. I didn't look back. When I got home, I sat on the edge of the bed in the dark, heart pounding, regret burning holes in my stomach. What the hell had I just done? The fallout was immediate. She came home an hour later, eyes swollen, mascara streaked. She didn't yell. She didn't cry. She just stood in the doorway and said, "You left me." I wanted to say I was sorry. I wanted to say it wasn't about the waiter, or the baby talk, or the embarrassment. I wanted to say, I'm scared. Scared that I didn't recognize her anymore. Scared that she was slipping into a world I couldn't follow. Scared that maybe, just maybe, she needed help, and I wasn't brave enough to face it. But I didn't say any of that. I said nothing. She slept in the guest room that night. Over the next few days, we barely spoke. I tried again, calmly this time, to tell her how I felt. I told her I loved her, that I missed her, that I wanted to understand what was happening. She told me I was being dramatic, that I was too uptight, that I cared too much about what people thought. Maybe she was right, but deep down, I still didn't understand why the woman I married was now a stranger who said num-num to our accountant and greeted the FedEx guy with, "Tankies, Mr. Trucky Truck." Was this normal? Was she okay? Was I? I turned to forums, read up on postpartum mental health, found articles about linguistic regression, baby-centric communication, how moms sometimes blur the lines between their world and their babies. And suddenly, a terrifying thought crept in. What if this wasn't just a phase? What if she was crying out for help, and all I saw was embarrassment? What if I failed her? I told myself I left the restaurant because I needed a break. But maybe I left because I didn't know how to help her. And that made me feel powerless. So I punished her. And now, weeks later, we're still distant. We still haven't talked, really talked, about what happened. The baby is thriving, but we're not. She still babbles sometimes, less often, but now with a kind of nervous edge, like she's waiting for me to react. And I do my best to smile, but something's cracked between us. So, am I the asshole? Or just a husband who didn't know what to do when the person he loved started slipping away into a language only babies, and maybe broken hearts, could understand? Maybe both. Maybe neither. I don't know anymore. But I do know this. Love isn't always about being right. Sometimes it's about staying at the table, even when the conversation makes no sense, especially then. So, am I the asshole? You tell me. This one hit differently, didn't it? Sometimes it's not about who's right or wrong. It's about what happens when life changes faster than our relationships can adapt. The poster in this story thought he was fighting against gibberish, but maybe what he was really battling was grief. Grief for who they used to be, for the marriage that existed before parenthood, for the woman he remembers, not realizing she's still there, just under layers of sleepless nights and invisible pressure. And maybe his wife? Maybe she wasn't just being silly. Maybe she was holding on to joy in the only language her baby understands. Maybe she's been alone with a newborn so long, she forgot how to speak adult at all. Or maybe, just maybe, she's not okay. So to anyone listening, if you're the one who feels like your partner's changed, or you're drowning in diapers and baby talk and no one hears you, say something. Not with anger, not by walking away, but with honesty, with kindness, with the kind of compassion that says, I see you, I miss you, let's find our way back together. And to our audience, have you ever had a moment where someone you loved changed so much you didn't recognize them anymore? What did you do? Tell us in the comments below. This is AITA Story Vault, where we open the vault on stories that aren't just about judgment, but about humanity. Until next time, stay kind, stay curious, and if you ever feel like walking away, pause and ask yourself what the story might sound like from the other side of the table.